Hey everybody, welcome back. Leo Pozzo TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today guys, I'm going to bring you guys along the way as I'm going to be trying to defeat this aiptasia problem that I have in my tank. I have a few pieces of live rock in my tank that have a few pieces of coral mounted on it, such as bubble tip anemones, and I need to recover my tank, guys, and I want to show you guys along the way. So stick with me, and I'm going to show you what I do in this video on how I recover my tank from aiptasia. Alright guys, well here we are downstairs in the basement, the 125-gallon saltwater coral reef fish tank built into the wall. And I'm having this problem right now, guys, and it's an aiptasia problem, and it's basically taking over my tank. Let me shut off the light in the back room here for you guys so you don't see too much in the back room. So let me get straight to the point here. So I have a piece of live rock right here and a piece of live rock right here. And guys, this is the real deal. This is my disaster of a tank right now. I got to recover this thing. This is not good. And this is basically my game plan. And I want to briefly, guys, break it down for you. So let's go step by step here. So this clam, for the most part, there was a few pieces of aiptasia on the shell, and it doesn't look like there are any more for the last 6 months. Slowly, I guess they kind of just died off or went away, or the clam kind of beat them. This mushroom, for an example, possible chance of being aiptasia on it. I don't really see much on it right now, but that's definitely a sign of aiptasia that could possibly hit that. This Kenya tree right here, an also possible sign that aiptasia could be on the bottom little piece of live rock there. Okay, so working onto this live piece of rock right here. This is a big disaster. I got aiptasia living, loving life over here. Oh my god, look at them just growing and loving it. And these bubble tip anemones are trying to survive. You can see I have one there, and one towards the back. And I wouldn't doubt it if there's another one here or there trying to survive. And I wouldn't even doubt it if this one right here is actually two. So we look over here to the next rock. We skip this favia coral, I believe, right here. As you can see, there's aiptasia on it as well. So that is definitely no good. This plate coral and this plate coral look pretty free from any aiptasia. So I think for the most part, these guys are okay. These guys can be, I can keep them, and I can keep the clam. This live rock, yes, look, I got like 1, 2, 3 bubble tips right there, probably. Originally that was 1, and now they split into 3. I have another, at least maybe 1, 2, or 3, give or take, right there. But look at all the aiptasia, guys. Like, there's no way that I'm going to go and try to kill these one by one. Like, look how small some of these guys are. This is crazy. There's no way that I'm going to be able to try to inject it with these guys with some kind of additive or something to try to kill it. There's no way I'm going to be able to do each one. Like, these guys are super healthy and they are definitely spreading. So as we move along here, this piece of live rock right here with some mushrooms is a definite potential with some aiptasia on it. Look at this Gonipora pretty much dying, being covered by Kenyo bacteria. Very bad sign. That goes to show that there's not enough flow in the tank. And again, looking at this wave maker, it is only there for decoration. It is not working. The pump stopped working, which this is the old school WP40. So that is definitely needs to be changed. And I have a new wave maker on the way. And the waves that are coming from the tank right now are from this side. And as you can see, there's not really any Kenya bacteria on any of the sand bed because there is quite a bit of flow. We do have this algae growth on the side here, but that's due to my lighting, as the blues on this light on this section of the tank are not working, and they're only the whites and like the reds and the greens and stuff. So they're more on the white side, which is creating this algae bloom on the one side of the tank there. What else? So potential aiptasia. There's aiptasia already on those. Poor Gonipora is pretty much dead. I might as well just remove that and siphon that all out. This piece of live rock is a big piece of live rock, and I'm going to consider it a write-off because there are some zoa polyps or whatever on here, and there's an aiptasia right there, and I'm sure there's probably a few more. And the color on these guys are basically just totally bleached. They have no color whatsoever. To me, they're pretty much garbage. And as well as these mushrooms, they're not bad looking, nothing fancy at all, and potential some aiptasia on there, guys. So this is what's the game plan, man. I've been mumbling on, I've been showing you guys what's going on. Look at the aiptasia over here on the frag rack. Look at the aiptasia on my overflow box. It's getting a little bit dark, but yeah, you can see the overflow box. This basket's kind of covering it. Okay, so you can see all these couple of frags here. There's aiptasia here and there. So that's definitely what my game plan is, guys, right now. So I told you of some of the corals that are salvageable, some of the corals that are not salvageable, that are potential being aiptasia on it. My game plan, guys, is to sum it all up. I want to empty out this tank and my sump filtration, which is behind there. I want to empty it out completely, dry it out for like a week or two, save the corals that I can, that are not any risk to having any aiptasia on it, put them in like a quarantine tank or just like a holding tank temporarily until my main display, which is the 125, and my sump dry up 100% and kill all the aiptasia. So that's my plan. So how, my question is to remove these bubble tips off of this live rock. And that's what we're going to do for you guys, or we're going to try for myself right now. And I wanted to show you guys and bring you guys along the way. So what I've done here is I got this pump, submersible pump that I use to mix up my salt. I just got a 1/2-inch hose here, about 4 feet long. And what I'm going to do is plug in my pump. I'm going to go behind the tank, plug in my pump, and I'm going to get the other end of the hose and I'm going to squirt it at the bubble tip anemones and hopefully be able to peel them off slowly or gradually. Start off at one rock, one anemone at a time, and hopefully be able to place them in this basket and have them floating in here and mount onto the basket, and possibly a piece of live rock that I'm gonna probably put them in their holding tank, which is not gonna have any aiptasia on it. So my whole concern is to get rid of this aiptasia and not transfer it over to my holding tank. Come on, bad boy, focus. Not to transfer over any of the aiptasia over to my holding tank. I want to dry out my complete system and start over, guys. This aiptasia has been killing me and my corals, and I got to do something about it. I've been super busy with other stuff, work, and on the go with other projects, but I think I got to recover this tank sooner than later. So guys, stay tuned. I'm going to go behind the tank right now. I'm going to set you guys up so you guys can have a look, and just, you know, stay tuned to some of my upcoming videos so you guys can see the finished result and how I recover this tank. And again, by watching this video to see if I actually get these bubble tip anemones off these few pieces of live rock. So let me get you guys comfortable right here while I go into the back room. So I was successful enough to remove all of these bubble tip anemones. I just noticed that there's actually one here on the outside of the basket, but all in all, let's count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I successfully removed 9 bubble tip anemones off the live rock that I had in my 125-gallon tank. It was a little long process, slowly, one by one. Removed it with a razor blade by the foot. Also used like a little plastic part of zip tie, just because I had that kicking around, and just slowly started wiggling off the foot, off the live rock, and sure enough, I got them off, and they are looking pretty healthy. I know I did damage 1 or 2 of them by like almost cutting it in half or cutting a couple of tentacles on and whatnot, but hopefully those guys will recover. For the most part, they are looking okay already, and it's only been about a few hours since I took them off. And one of my concerns right now, I'm just holding them in this holding tank temporarily in my 35-gallon frag tank, which my lights are currently off right now. Just sitting beside the 125 here. My concern is that these bubble tips don't end up in my drain and then down inside my sump.